Well, we do want to thank you all for coming here today for this press conference related to SB 6, which was the bill to abolish abortion in Arkansas, which is now Act 309, which was passed by a supermajority of the legislature this session. In fact, this bill is scheduled to go into effect on July the 28th, in just a few days from right now. As you all know, the ACLU and Planned Parenthood actually brought suit against the state of Arkansas related to this legislation, and that is what this press conference is about today. And at this time, I want to turn the balance of the time over to Mr. Alan Parker. Alan Parker is with the Justice Foundation. He's the president of the Justice Foundation, and he is a pro-life advocate around the country and has been involved for many decades in this fight. One of the unique things about Alan Parker is he talks about abortion, which is a crime against humanity, is that he not only has been involved for many decades in this fight, but he represented Norma McCorvey, the Jane Roe of Roe v. Wade, in her efforts to overturn the decision that her name has been used for to literally kill millions of babies in the United States of America. And he also has a couple of speakers that he will introduce at that time. So at this time, welcome Alan Parker. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's here today. I want to thank the Arkansas legislature, which voted for this bill overwhelmingly, over 2/3 in both houses. And why would a state want to do that when something has been the law for 48 years? Well, it's because this act of abortion is a crime against humanity. And one of the things that we want to say today is, what will be the effect if the law is allowed to go into effect? Or what will be the effect if the law is stopped, or the legal term is enjoined from going into effect? I join and others calling for prayer for the judge. This is not a criticism of her. She has the decision under advisement. It's just a time for prayer and reflection. She has a life or death decision to make, and we should all be praying for her that she'll have wisdom and be able to achieve justice and mercy. And today, that's what this bill does that is different from any other pro-life law that's ever been passed. And as a result, the decision that she's making, she'll be the first judge in America to make it. The decision rests on her shoulders. Now, they'll say that abortion has been the law for 48 years, and that's true. So she's going against a tradition. But there are two things in this law that are new, and that is that if the law is stopped from going into effect, then irreparable injury will occur to the people of Arkansas and the death of infant life in the womb. And the Supreme Court, in a case called Gonzalez v. Carhart, said, some women come to regret their choice to abort the infant life they once created and sustained. So the Supreme Court has admitted this. On the next page, they call it an infant. So if it is a human being, if it's an infant, then it is wrong to take that life. Now, it's been done in the name of freedom, but the Supreme Court went on to say women can suffer severe depression and loss of esteem in Gonzalez. And in 1992, the court said abortion can have devastating psychological effects on women. So you're going to hear my next two witnesses are women who had abortions and counsel women who had abortions to tell you about the devastating psychological consequences. Why should we continue? I think it's because we have compassion for the woman also, and some of the women are in difficult circumstances. I represent thousands of women who've had abortions. We're not here to condemn people who've had abortions. We're to say that Arkansas now has a better way. Justice for the child says we're not going to kill human beings, as the pastor said. Then the second thing is we want to have mercy for the mother. Let's help the women in need, all right? And so the way Arkansas does that is by giving the safe haven law to every woman. If this law goes into effect on July 28th and there's no abortion, if a woman doesn't want to have that baby, she can release the child to the baby through the safe haven law. at the moment of birth, walking out of the hospital, as soon as she's ready to get out, she can walk out, leave the baby behind, or has up to 30 days to decide, well, I've seen this baby now. Do I want to keep this baby or not? It's her choice. But we're going to take away the choice to kill the child. But we say you can be free of the child if that's what you desire. So it's justice for the mother, for the baby, and mercy for the mother. And in fact, Arkansas also pays for low-income women to have prenatal care, medical care, and delivery expenses paid for. So if you're low income and poor, the state will help you. And then you can give your baby to an adopted couple if you want, or just release it to the state if you prefer a government safety net. So those two things have never been ruled on before by the United States Supreme Court. That's what's different. Even in a case called Casey. Now, what will be the effect on the black population of Arkansas? Now, African Americans make up only 15% of the population of Arkansas, but they're 46% of the abortions. And I'm reading that from paragraph 55 of the plaintiff's complaint in the lawsuit. So that's the facts. They abort more people than anybody else. They do almost all the abortions in Arkansas. That's the statistics they have. So I believe the judge has a life or death decision to make. What will happen if the law is struck down? There'll be a disproportionate impact on the African American population of this state. More black children will die than they even represent in the population. Under the law of discrimination, when you have a disparate impact on a minority group, that's considered discrimination in the law. I think everyone would agree abortion is the most controversial issue in America today. Why? Because you're taking a human life, and that issue will never go away. Our next witness is Millie Lace, the founder of Concepts of Truth.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to share my testimony. I'm representing thousands of others like me who regret our abortions. I'm here to be a voice for the voiceless. I'm here to support SB 6 Act 309. Thank you. Thank you, Arkansas. This act will stop devastating psychological consequences, severe depression, and loss of esteem that abortion may cause for women, men, and families.
You have a chance, Judge Baker, to rule on a case that has never had under consideration that it's a crime against humanity. And I'm asking today, on behalf of the people that have fought time and time again for life, that you uphold Act 309. If you don't, I have confidence that Arkansas will fight, and we will fight all the way to the Supreme Court. Thank you.